All right, so finding the area of this shape, we basically have a square and a half circle or semicircle. The semicircle has a radius of 4. So we have 2 pieces here. We've got to find the area of the square, plus we need to find the area of the semicircle. So the area of the square will be 8 times 8, base times height. And the area of the circle is pi times radius squared. So it's going to be pi times 4 squared, but we're not looking at the full circle, we're looking at half of it, so we need to divide that by 2. So the area of the square is 64. And if I do 4 squared, that's 16, divided by 2, that's 8 pi. So this would be the area of that piece. Now if you multiply pi by 3.14, you're going to have an answer close to 100. Try to keep your answers in terms of pi unless they ask for an approximation. In problem C, we basically have, again, another square, and we basically have half circles. And if you look at the picture, we actually have two circles. So we're going to find the area of the circle, we're going to double it. Because the length of each side of the square is 9, that means that the diameter of the square is also 9. So we're going to be using 4.5 of the radius. So the area of the square is 9 times 9. And then we're going to find the area of two squares, or sorry, two circles. So we have 4 halves here. So it'll be pi times 4.5 squared. 81 plus 2 times 4.5 squared is 20.25 times pi. So 4.5 times 4.5 is 20.25. Then we're going to double that, so we end up with this 40.5 pi. So 81 plus 40.5 pi, and this is going to be the area here, square millimeters. Problem B, we can look at this as a rectangle in which we are getting rid of half of a circle. So since the diameter is 5, then that means the radius will be 2.5. So we're going to find the area of the rectangle and then subtract away an area of a half of a circle or a semicircle. So 9 times 5 would be the area of the rectangle minus pi times 2.5 squared, so pi r squared divided by 2. So we're looking at half of a circle that we're removing from the shape. So it's 45 minus, so 2.5 squared is 6.25 divided by 2. So we end up with this 3.125 pi. And again, this would be square centimeters. And then the last problem, we also have another square. It's an 11 by, we got a rectangle. It's 11 by 10 rectangle. And we are taking away 2 half circles. So the radius of the smaller one is 2, and the radius of the bigger half circle is 3. So we're going to do the area of a rectangle, subtract away an area of a half circle and also a second half circle. So the area of the rectangle is 11 times 10, 11 by 10. The area of the smaller half circle would be pi times 2 squared divided by 2. And the area of the bigger half circle would be pi times 3 squared divided by 2. So we end up with 110 minus 2 squared is 4 divided by 2 is 2 pi. And then 3 squared is 9 divided by 2 is 4.5 pi. So we have an area of 110, and we're taking away 6.5 pi, since a -2 and a -4.5 makes -6.5 times pi, and we're looking at square centimeters as an area. So Hopefully you completed the problems correctly. If you need to go back and redo any of the problems, I would suggest going back, redoing the problem, and then watch the video again if you need to check any part of your answer.